All right, y'all. Up next for the bees, we've got another Republican. His name is Don Bacon. He is District 2 of Nebraska. He's the representative. His net worth stands at, as of 2023, 1.56 million. Um, he's a career politician. He has been praised in his early career about being very bipartisan and reaching across the aisle and being very, negotiable and very much so open to discussion. Now, in the time of Trump, he's gotten very corrupt. He's accepted money to be believed around the amount of 1.2 million from corporate PACs. Those are political action committees. Essentially, those are what the lobbyists use to funnel money to congressional people and politicians' campaigns. Um, Supposedly, he ended up trying to pay um, one of his top consultants through taxpayer funded congressional accounts, which violates congressional rules. He spoke that was not what happened. He gave an example of why and who and this, that, and the other, but Democrats who chose not to pursue it. So that it's not what he's saying is not what's actually happening because the numbers don't add up. When I looked at the numbers, it seemed kind of odd that someone was getting paid approximately $178,000 to do things for your campaign that would include just like marketing and flyers and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't have the receipt book. Apparently, nobody has a receipt book because no one bothered to ask for the receipt book, so they just let it go. But that was one of the big scandals that he was involved in. Also, sort of a I wouldn't say this is a scandal. It's just it's a hypocrisy where he put a lobbyist on his payroll and then went around and voted against a bill that would forbid lobbyists from obtaining small business loans. Why is that bad? Hypothetically speaking, if a lobbyist went and obtained a small business loan, what they choose to do with that funding is up to them. What business are they funding? Where's that money actually going? That's the reason why that bill was proposed in the first place. Because if a lobbyist is going out there and applying for a small business loan, then turning around and paying a political campaign with the money that they just obtained, that's bad. That's wrong. That should be a crime, and that was what the bill was aiming to do. And he voted not to do that after hiring a lobbyist for his campaign. He also is still praising the TCJA, which is the Tax Cuts and Job Act of 2017. Anyone who is complaining about Biden's economy should already know by now, if they're on TikTok, that the tax plan was Trump's and that it was approved through Congress. And so every economist has stated, and not just economists here in the United States, since people can't seem to trust the people from their own country, economists around the world have said that that particular act, the TCJA, was a failure. It did not do what it promised to do. Nothing trickled down because there was nothing to force that trickle down to occur. When they gave those tax cuts to all those corporations, what they did with those taxes, instead of bringing manufacturing jobs back to the United States, they did stock buybacks. They ended up cutting sectors from their companies. So, for example, you've got GM, you got Ford, you got the car companies. Back after when those tax cuts went into place, we lost most American-made sedans. They stopped manufacturing those. That was jobs lost when they stopped manufacturing those. Did they bring back older models and start producing newer models? Yes, but not nearly at the same volume. The Ford Fusion, for example, they stopped doing that in 2019, of course, after the tax cuts. and they received all that funding and things like that. They stopped manufacturing one of the top selling cars around the world here in the United States. They stopped the Dodge Charger. They stopped the Dodge Challenger. They stopped the Dodge Dart. They stopped the Chrysler 200. They stopped the Chrysler 300. They stopped so many, and that's just the auto industry. There are other industries that stopped manufacturing and producing here, and there are a lot of people who are claiming, like this man Don Bacon, that it was good for the economy, it was good for America. It absolutely wasn't. Jobs were lost, people lost their jobs, corporations ended up having to cut people because when you stop manufacturing vehicles, there are other companies involved other than Ford, other than GM, other than Mazda, yada, yada, yada. If you didn't know before, you do know now that those companies don't make every single part that goes into their vehicle. That had a drastic impact on the economy worldwide. And this guy, Don Bacon, is saying, let's extend the TCJA after knowing it didn't help people like you and me. Career politicians like him, they get an F rating. He needs to go. Nebraska, District 2, it's been blue before, turn it blue again.